The other day he had come here, so I mentioned to him, and he absent-mindedly had lent all this footage to some friend who hasn't returned it yet to him. So I told him to get it back now, and we'll soon see these films here.
Oh, these films is this original footage that he has?
Yeah, original.
Wow.
He gave the original to Erwin Luck, and Erwin Luck has kept it in his repository there.
Right.
Yeah.
So he has a copy.
But he has made a copy and sent to Sam.
I see.
Quite a long footage. Yes, so then we were taking these films of Baba at the time, and he's got some good shots of Baba, good close-ups also.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where was the Pandal? Was it Lower Meherabad?
Lower Meherabad, where the present staff quarters are, where Dadi and Nehru Bilumoria and all, Jimmy's cottage. So those buildings were not there at the time. And I remember it was along that whole strip, it was made level. And
there were no trees there back
no
then?
Trees. It was all open ground. Even now, behind it is that open field.
Yeah.
They do some plowing there.
Right.
Yeah.
I see.
So a big pandal was put up there.
Yeah. Would people sleep in the Pandal?
No. Just for Baba's function. The sleeping was, the other tents were there. Yeah. But the main function was there.
How big were the crowds at that?
Well, about, I think, 200 to 300 per group. Yeah.
And one group would come in for a week and then move out, and the other would come and go out.
The sleeping tents were between the outer Meherabad and lower Meherabad, There are clear spaces, so tents would be there for us to stay there. And then we would visit. There were eating tents also nearby,
A little foretaste of Amarchidi. For all these tents on a big scale.
Yeah, that's right. And I remember, I think it was just at that time that Baba had called for a good kawal. So, when Baba had come and stayed at Bindra House for 3 days, I think I mentioned to you.
Right.
And he wanted a good kawali program. So, Jalbhai was asked to search out a good kawal, and I would go to the market to make purchases, and there I happened to talk to some people who were vending meat and vegetables. So I asked them if they knew of some good kawal. So they said, "Oh yes, we know a very good kawal." So I said, would he come and sing for us at the home? So that fellow brought him to my house, and he said, yes, I would sing. So I said, we want a good program here. So then I went and asked Baba that this kawal wants to come and sing. So Baba says, nice, ask him to come in the evening, that day of the program. In the meantime, Jalbhai also, Baba's brother, he arranged for a kawal. So they both converged together.
Now this is at the Meherabad meeting?
No, at Bindra House.
Previously.
This was much before, many years ago, when we had recently settled in Bindra House in the early 40s, I think. So then this program was held, and both the kawals, Baba gave chance to sing to both of them. But he liked my kawal better. And he was singing his heart out before Baba, and Baba liked it very much. So this same kawal, Baba asked him to come and sing then.
15 years later?
Yeah, whatever. I don't remember now these dates. So he came and he gave a kawali program. So one of the ghazals he was singing was of Simab. Baba liked Simab very much. Simab, then Jigar, So these were his favorite poets. Baba would ask them even to recite some piece from these poets, like Simab, Jigar, and other poets. So there was this ghazal from Simab where he says that in the Urdu it is like, Ab kya bataun main tere milne se kya mila. What should I tell you? What I got by getting you. What did I get by coming in contact with you? Something like that. Then I forget the other part of the line or something like that. That in the form of man, I have found God Himself. That's the ghazal, the opening line of the ghazal. Yeah. And then he goes on to say that I have found God by finding the footprint of my beloved. Yeah. So it's a very nice ghazal, and Baba liked that very much. So this ghazal he sang before Baba in this meeting. And then there is a line at the end that the whole life of Simab has been one of sadness, separation, and no joy in his life. He complains. Yeah. What shall I say? What I have found by finding such a heartless beloved? He's complaining at the end of this, despite praising his beloved, but in the end he says this. Yeah, that this fellow has no heart, and my whole life has been a tragedy for me. So then Baba stops the man from singing, and he says, I have liberated Simab today. And there was pin drop silence in the whole crowd. The impact was not felt immediately, but then it sank into the people, and there was a great shout of Baba's Jai. Yeah, that today I have liberated him. Yeah. So
a poem that he had written a century, 2 centuries
I don't know when it was. Yeah. So it was a great occasion when Baba made that gesture. Yeah. Still I get that memory.
What an extraordinary thing. Someone's expression at that time, and then it reaches the ears of the beloved.
Yeah. But to be liberated means what? The end of his journey. And so then there was great shouting of Baba's Jai, and everybody was in great spirits. Yeah. And then their singing resumed for some time. So that was the highlight of that time. And of course, I remember we were clubbed with the Tamil group, the Gujarati speaking group. Because for Tamils, Baba would speak in English. So, and then it would be, and I'm in Telugu group. So Baba would give out in English, and the translation would be in Telugu. But English mostly the Gujarati people would understand. Mainly Parsis, and some Gujarati speaking. So we were clubbed with them. And since they were in the majority, the food was according to their taste. And they would use spices, hot spices, morning, afternoon and evening. So even in the morning, they would cook this rava. Among the Parsis also, rava is cooked in the morning. But the Parsi rava is sweet and very tasty. But these people, they cooked the rava, and then all the Parsis had big helpings of them, not knowing what they were asking for. And there were green pieces in that, so they thought these were pistachios. So when they started to eat, they were live chilies. And everybody was hooing and shooing because it was so hot. And once they took it on their plate, Baba's orders were to finish it. So everybody was groaning at the end of it. And the hot tea on that, we couldn't drink the tea because of the hot spicy rava. They would call it upma. Yeah. And even the food, it would be all different pickles and chilies. So at the end of the fourth or fifth day, most of us had dysentery, passing of blood stools and all. So we came to have a taste of Andhra food that time.
Could you converse with them?
In English.
Yeah.
Most of them knew quite a bit of English, but not the women so much.
Yeah.
Yes. Some of them just knew Telugu.
That's right. This was men and women both, but
yeah,
in particular.
Both. With separate accommodation for the men and women.
And at the meetings, the men and women would be on separate sides as usual. Would it work that way?
I think so. Yeah.
I've noticed that usually that seems to have been the pattern.
That's right. Yeah. Or maybe mixed seating accommodation, but I'm not so sure now. Probably separate. Yeah. But accommodation is definitely separate.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Did Baba, were those part of the circulars? Those would have been among the rules of the...
That was Baba's wish, that when they came, the men would sleep separately, the women separately. Yeah. Never together.
Right. Because I noticed that's still observed in Amriti.
Well, it's even at Pilgrim Center, and I think Dharamshala and everywhere, it would be separate accommodation. Baba always insisted. Even in the ashram here at Meherazad, we had this big wall that you see now.
Right.
So we never went beyond the wall.
Yeah.
Never went beyond the wall, mind you.
Yeah.
Never looked behind the wall.
So that whole part of it was just off bounds completely.
Yeah, out of bounds.
Yeah. Actually, part of your life seems to have been a moving from the other side, as it were, not here at Meherazad, but to gradually, from being a young boy to grown up.
Grown up, yeah. So that was part of Baba's discipline right till the end. Baba was very strict about this. So that was the 1958 Savas, and it was a very nice get-together.
By the way, I'm not sure, did you stay for one of those meetings?
Yes, I was.
Okay, you were there just for the Telugu, Gujarati.
Yeah, I think Baba combined two groups at that time, so he had just two groups coming.
I see, not four.
And not four. I think so that's why the Telugu and Gujarati group was combined. And it was a 15-day affair instead of a 1-month affair.
I see.
I think some sort of arrangement was done.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure now. You will get these things in the records.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm not sure whether Baba called us for a visit to Meherazad at that time or not. But in the earlier occasion, I remember in the earlier Savas, which was also 4 groups, that one of the things was a visit to Meherazad, and Baba took us up the seclusion hill. Did I mention this in the previous thing? Because there was a previous Savas group also of four languages separately.
Right. I think Listen Humanity documents some of that.
Oh yeah. So probably that one of those times, I think it was 55 or something.
Yeah, that's what I said,
before the accident.
Right.
I think I mentioned that, no? In 1955. Baba was in Satara, and then in 1955 he had a meeting in the similar Savas with 4 language groups. And that time each group was called to Meherazad one of the days, and the program was that Baba would take us up the hill, Seclusion Hill. So each group he led us up the hill, and we would follow. And I remember during my group some fellows tried to shortcut and go up the hill from straight, and Baba had them called back to follow the path. Yeah. And then, I don't know, at that time or what, this path up the hill goes along this way, and it keeps going in the south direction up the hill. And then at one place in the climb, you start to reverse back, but still climbing up, but the direction gets reversed and faces north, and then again it zigzags up the south direction and goes right on the top. So I think that time Baba gave us this discourse about this path resembling the spiritual path, and how first the lover proceeds on the path, and it's a swift progress, and it's very joyful. The first flushes of being with the beloved, and then he goes up there, and then he comes to a point where a sudden blockage seems to occur, and he now seems to be going away from the beloved, and this is where the direction is reversed. But although he is going away from the beloved, at the same time his progress is being maintained. We are climbing up still on the hill. You get to how he gives a similarity. So he feels as if he is drifting away from the beloved, getting further and further away, as if it's a reverse direction to what he has been taking so far. And then there comes a stage when there is another blockage, and he shifts direction again, and now comes back. And so this is a game which the beloved plays with the lover, allowing him to drift away, pulling him again, bringing him back, throwing him again away, making him suffer all the time the pangs of separation and despair and all that. But at the same time the climbing is going on. That means coming closer to the beloved. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful figure.
Yeah. So.
Do you remember did Baba stop at that turn? And
probably he must have. I remember this discourse was given sometime, and might be at that time. So, yeah. So then we went right up the hill. Baba was there. We sat all around him. There are photographs also of Baba sitting up there.
Wasn't there a tree? Is that where's the photograph of the tree?
No, that is Meherabad. That's Meherabad.
Okay.
At that time, Baba climbed up the Meherabad hill also.
You had talked about that.
Yeah. So that same time. One of I forgot to mention about visit to Meherabad. Yeah. So it was a very happy climb up there. The only time that I climbed the hill with Baba.
Was that the time at which Baba said that in 70 years there would be world pilgrimage?
Yeah, he mentioned that. And he said that I'm taking you all here to this hill, and each one of you should now lift a pebble from here and keep it as a sort of a souvenir and a memento of the visit to this place. And we all took up a little pebble. And that was the time Baba told us to do that. And in future generations, people from all over the world would come and want to be here, where Baba had worked in seclusion and did great work here. So that was the 1958 Savas. Then at that time, it was the first occasion when a very influential Baba lover who had great influence in the railways, he arranged for special trains to be brought to Meherabad with Baba's lovers from different directions. So officially the train could halt at Meherabad, and all the lovers could alight from there and come to Meherabad, and also they could return with all the bag and baggage just at Meherabad.
Oh, that's so convenient.
So I've got Sam to take footage of that also. The departure.
Where Baba's...
Yes. Yeah. So Baba, this train comes, halts there, and there is Baba's multicolored flag on the railway engine. And then all these people are climbing up in various carriages with all the bag and baggage. And then Baba suddenly comes in the car, and on the hillside there is a place where Baba stood and waves to the crowd. And then as the train is going by, all people are waving their hands, and you'll see hundreds of hands waving at the same time. This whole train full of Baba lovers proceeding. So it's a nice...
glorious picture of Baba.
And Baba looks so resplendent there, waving to them, carry my love with you. That's what he's signing to them. So that was the 1958 Savas. And then, of course, Baba had come to Binraus earlier, and at that time, I remember Baba would always display a plaque. It was written, "No personal discussions with Baba about anything, no personal matters, and Baba will not interfere in any personal matters." Some such.
As the Sahaba says.
No, this was in, I think, a year earlier or a few months earlier. He happened to come to Binraus, and all this plaque would be shown to us, that no talking about personal matters.
Oh, right there at Binraus, you were given that.
Yeah. And it would be carried wherever Baba went.
So, one of the Manjali?
Yeah, or something, I'm not so very sure, but this message would be displayed, that nobody should talk to Baba about any personal matters. And then Baba was at Bindra House, and then despite this, I remember he tells Sam's mother that he would like Sam to get married to Roshan. Now this is a personal thing. So Viraj says, "Baba, why are you doing this? We have given this." So he says, no, this is an exception. So he tells Sam's mother, "Nice girl, I like her, and I would like Sam to get her." So Banmasi said, "I have no objection, Baba, whatever you say, if Sam is willing." So then Sam was consulted, and he says he was agreeable to it. "Whatever you say, Baba." So it was decided that they would get married. And then Baba fixed a date in 1958. He says, "Now get married." So we fixed the date of 21st March, because 21st March is a big day for the Zoroastrians. It's actually the new year in Iran.
It's the date of the
spring, the advent of spring. So it's actually the new year for the original Zoroastrians. So we thought 21st March is a good date. And then my father was also taking active part in getting all the preparations done. And then the marriage was decided. Baba said it should be performed in Pune, not at Akbar Press. He wanted it done there. So we were first thinking of doing it here, like the earlier marriage of Meru and Barjor Mehta.
In the previous fall.
Yeah. So he says, no, in Pune. And but then Baba, you won't be there. You always saying. So he says, no, I'll come and I'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
So Baba then sent word, and the Ganeshkin cottage, Dadi had to make ready for Baba. Not Guru Prasad, mind you. Yeah.
This was earlier than he would usually come to Pune for summer months.
That's right. So Baba then asked Dadi, and he had been promoted to the superintendent by then. Mm-hmm. So he had got the biggest cottage there. Mm. And so Baba came and stayed there for a few days. And then Baba sent Eraj to attend the wedding. Mm. And many Baba lovers from Pune also were invited. So the majority of the crowd would be Baba lovers there, and they were all gathering around Eraj and asking him questions. And so Eraj said, even the little outing Baba gave me was all finished. There was no such thing as outing. But a big crowd had come, and it was a grand function. And so we all worked very hard. And by the end of the thing, we were all quite exhausted, you know.
Mm-hmm. Did you get to see Baba that time?
Yeah. In fact, Baba wanted a Qawwali program. So again, this Qawwal was brought there.
What was his name?
Bashir Qawwal.
Bashir.
Yeah.
Now he was a Muslim.
Yeah, he was a Muslim. Yeah. Young fellow at that time. And he had a good voice and sang well. Yeah. So Baba liked it. And so he was called. I got in touch with him and he came over. But unfortunately at that time there was the Ramzan month, mind you. And in Ramzan they keep fast, they don't swallow their spit also.
Oh my.
So Baba noticed that and said, what is this? You keeping fast? So he says, yes, Baba. So then Baba didn't like to make him exert too much. So the program was cut short. I remember Ramzan fell at that time, which is unusual. It keeps changing, you know, because in the Mohammedans they go by the lunar calendar and they don't correct it. So it goes around the year. So Baba was a bit disappointed about that program. Yeah. And after the program was over, then Baba told Sam to go for honeymoon with Roshan. So they went to Kashmir. And so Baba told Dadi and me that you both are quite tired. So for you the honeymoon will be to come to where I am going now, at Mahabaleshwar. So we, for 3 or 4 days, we come and stay there. So Baba proceeded to Mahabaleshwar from there. Yeah. And I remember he called me Dadi, Megji, Nariman, then one or two others also. Patil, I think, Sadashiv Patil. So we all were called there for a few days stay at Mahabaleshwar. And Baba made arrangements for us at Ripon Hotel. Ripon belonged to one of Baba's lovers called Koyar Satarawala. It belonged to him. So Baba said, you all stay there. And it was quite close by to where Baba was staying. So we would stay there, and then Baba would call us to where he was. I think it was Florence Hall, or I don't remember which. But it was a nice...
I seem to remember Florence's hall as being where he had stayed a few years before.
Probably that, yeah.
Glimpses does have a nice story about Koyar.
Yeah.
His contacts with Baba a few years before.
So, Koyar had managed to secure this place for Baba, and we would be called So I remember when the Baba was working in another room with Kekobadji. At that time, Baba was doing work with Kekobad. He would be closeted together with Kekobad and would bow down to him several thousand times, and Kekobad would repeat some name of God that Baba would ask him to do. Some work they did, and we all were sitting quiet there. And then Baba came out and met us and said, "Now you all go and rest and come the next day, then we'll have a nice time."
How would Baba look after having spent that time with Kekobad? Tired or withdrawn or anything like that?
Yeah, he would be a little tired. Then when he came, he would wash his face, hands, and look fresh. But worked very strenuously. Yeah. So then we went and were settled down at Ripon Hotel, which was not a very good place actually. Although the hotel was very good, but it was in a state of disrepair, It was too big for Koya to handle. And the food was rather passable, vegetarian food. And anyway, we were there nicely settled. Next day we came, then Baba would ask us to sit there. And first thing is, how did you all sleep? How is your health? Did you sleep well? Usual questions. Did you eat well? So we all said yes. Then Jimmy's turn came. Jimmy said, "Yes, Baba, everything nice. But the food, Baba, is all grass." Baba said, "Nice. Sometimes grass is good for the system. So eat the food, it will do good to your health." So we all laughed at the remark. Just a passing remark, Nice, I would like you to eat that. And then Baba says, "All right, you all are now in Mahabaleshwar. Mahabaleshwar is a hill resort, and people come here for sightseeing. So I give you a choice. Do you want to go sightseeing, or would you rather prefer stay here with me whole day and we'll have card games and other nice fun?" So of course it was unanimously the latter. We don't care for sightseeing, Baba. So Baba was happy. He said, "All right, we'll enjoy ourselves." So from morning till evening, it would be these card games of Larisk and quite a lot of fun we would have. How the day would slip by, it would be really surprising. At the end of the day, everybody fagged and tired, and we would be sent back to Ripon. So that evening, all of us conspired and said, "This food is rather insipid. We'll go out and eat somewhere." So I said, "Baba would like us to eat at Ripon, So they said, "Oh, Baba just said like that. He didn't give us any order that we should eat there." I said, "But I think he mentioned that we should eat there." No, let's go out. We'll have a good time there. So we all went out to a good restaurant. It was what was called Silverine, and it was famous for very good non-veg food, So we all had a good party there, chicken and meat and all that, meat curry, and ate quite a lot and enjoyed ourselves there. then went back to Ripon and had a good night's rest. Next day, early morning, we went to Ripon, to Florence Hall. And there was Baba. So he lined us all up and said, so first thing, we were all there and I was standing there. And he asked me, what did you eat last night? I said, chicken, Baba. What? As if he couldn't believe his ears. They don't serve chicken at Ripon. How did you eat chicken? And then I had to tell the whole story. And Baba was upset. I said, I'd ordered you all to eat in Ripon. How did you go out and eat there? So we all look a little like naughty school children, So then Baba said, you shouldn't have done that. See, the flower falls and says,
confirming.
Yeah, confirming. Although, however, casually I said, but I had expressed my wish that you should have eaten at Ripon, and you went out, and that was not good for you all. Anyway, I forgive you, but now hereafter, see that you all don't go out anywhere, eat only at Ripon's. But now get to playing cards. So all of us who were in this party were in one side, and Baba was on the other side. And
the offending party of the winner.
And we started winning for a few games, but then thereafter it was a series of losses for us. And each time we had to rub, Baba says, now the chicken is protesting in your stomach.
Baba would say that?
Yeah. Remember the chicken you all have eaten. It serves you right. Rub your noses. So whole day we were made to remember that we had eaten chicken despite Baba's instructions to the contrary. And usually Baba never liked us to eat chicken, Especially if to have the chicken slaughtered, especially for us, Baba had given us orders that was not good. So for a long time we never used to eat chicken,
This is your family or
I think Baba loves Indian. Baba would say that to have an animal specially slaughtered for you gives you all the samskars of that. So that's not good. If it's a shared thing and a general thing outside, then it's not so bad. And in certain people, they have lifelong orders never to eat chicken. Many people there are. Especially the Pakistani group, Jangusu Kadwala and all these. They have been ordered not to eat chicken.
Whereas beef or mutton, those things are not so much under that prohibition.
But generally Baba liked vegetarian food. It's more simple and more wholesome and nourishing. And now we find a general trend in the world of returning back to more simple food, which is good for health-wise also.
But your family was never under any direct orders as far as dietary restrictions?
Yeah, in the early days, yes. Wherever we were settled down, it would be under strict orders. Whatever he told us, like mostly it would be vegetarian food, no eggs also. For many years it was continued. Until in Pune, then there was no order. Later on, Baba relaxed it, But in the early days, Baba was very strict about our diet. So then this whole day passed off in in a mini repentance of having broken Baba's order there. So, Baba just glossed over it, as it were, but made us rub our noses all the same to wipe out all the wrong that we had done in disobeying him. And then we never ventured out after that. Kept to Ripon Hotel and whatever food they supplied us. Yeah. Then on one of the days we were with Baba, and this Ripon Hotel is on the edge of a cliff. I remember. Not Ripon Hotel, I'm sorry. The Florence Hall, or I don't know the name of the bungalow which we were there. And there's a big valley just ahead. And the other side of it was Pratapgarh. Pratapgarh was the headquarters of Shivaji in his time. It was his capital almost, as it were. He would conduct all his operations from Pratapgarh. It was an impregnable fort. And to reach that place, you see, from where we were, and we could see Pratapgarh across the valley, could be about a mile or so as the crow flies. But if you had to go there, you would have to climb down 4,000 feet of mountain, go to the valley, and start climbing up again. So it would be quite 2 or 3 hours journey to reach Pratapgarh.
Spectacular.
Yeah. So a deep valley in front. So, and this bungalow had all glass panes facing that valley. A beautiful room it was there. I remember all glass panes all around. So we could get a clear view of Pratapgarh. And on that day was the inauguration of Shivaji's statue, I remember. And Nehru was to come and inaugurate the statue. So Baba remembered Nehru, and Nehru, Baba said, was a real karma yogi, Baba said, very selfless. Although his people around him were very selfish and brought him into disrepute, but his own integrity was always there. And Baba said that really India was fortunate to have such a leader at this time. So he was to inaugurate the statue, and Nehru always had this vision of having a united India with harmony everywhere. And at that time there was a lot of dissensions about having separate states. And so Baba happened to mention how he came over at this occasion, and there was another local leader. And when Nehru met him, he also asked for a separate Maharashtra state, even at that function. So something was mentioned about Nehru feeling very dejected about it. Baba said, what could poor Nehru do? Yes, so he was sympathizing with Nehru and remembering him from a distance. And there was quite a crowd there we could see on Pratapgarh.
Oh, you could see it across the valley, the crowd gravitated there.
That was a memorable occasion.
Baba seems to have had a lot of connection with the leadership of India in those early times.
Gandhi
and then Nehru. Although he hasn't met Nehru that I know.
No. But he saw Nehru, I think, in one of the cricket matches in Delhi, when Baba had paid a visit to Delhi, and there was a match between the President's 11 and the Prime Minister's 11. So Radhakrishnan was the President, and he was the captain of his side, and Nehru was the captain of the Prime Minister's 11. And Baba went to see that match. So what significance it must have. But Radha Krishnan also heard about Baba. In fact, Wing Commander Sakre and his wife had an audience with Radha Krishnan, and Radha Krishnan made Mona Sakre, wife of Sakre, recite Baba's Aarti and all that. He was a great scholar, this Radha Krishnan.
Didn't he meet Baba, or is that someone else?
I don't think he met.
Someone met Baba in Bangalore.
That was somebody else, probably. I don't think Radha Krishnan met him. Or probably he may have in the earlier years, but I'm not aware of that. Yes, so this was our stay at Mahabaleshwar.
What a great vacation.
Yeah. So 3 or 4 days was complete relaxation and all fun with Baba. And then Baba sent us back, and we all went back to our respective places. I think Ramju also was there, or I'm not sure about Ramju, but Patil, Jimmy, Nariman, myself, Dadi, all from outstation were there. I think Kisan Singh might be there, I'm not so sure. So Baba then carried on staying at Mahabaleshwar, but when I returned, he told me to get Guru Prasad ready because he wanted to come back there, and Baba was making preparations for his tour to the West, his last tour in this incarnation to the West. So when I returned, then I was busy getting permission for Guru Prasad as usual from the Rani, and it was taken for granted that Guru Prasad would be available. And then I got the thing ready, and I remember Baba came to Guru Prasad either from Mahabaleshwar or he went to Meherwan and came, but he was at Guru Prasad. He stayed there for a few days and then left directly from there to Bombay en route to the West. So Guru Prasad, he was there for a few days. The 1958 tour.
So both in 57 and 58 he wound up staying in Guru Prasad for a short time.
But then after returning from the West, I think he again came to Guru Prasad, stayed there for some time, because the 1958 tour was to be a month-long or a 2-month-long tour, and going there, Baba suddenly curtailed it for 15 days. And he said he had great work to do in India, and so the tour was curtailed to 15 days, 2 weeks round the world, mind you. And it was a whirlwind tour. And this time there were replacements. Instead of Meherji, Nariman was taken, and Neelu had died. So in place of him, Don King was taken on the tour. And it was a very quick tour. Baba came back again very soon. And then he was at Guru Prasad for some time. And then towards the end of summer, I think, he left for Meherwan. And then he was here for the rest of the year.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai.
Well, resuming on August 3rd, now it's after lunch today. We're still on the 11th tape of this series. Just before lunch, Meherwan, you had been talking about Baba's brief stop at Guru Prasad just before his 1958 tour to the West, and then that whirlwind tour that wound up being a month long, or 2 weeks long.
2 weeks, yes.
And then his returning to Guru Prasad for a few days on his way back to Meherwan.
Now, Baba said that he had a lot of work to do, and I think it was then that Francis joined Baba in 1958.
Yeah.
Baba returned via Australia, and I think either Francis followed Baba or very soon thereafter he joined Baba's ashram. And he remained with Baba till the end. So the last 10 years of Baba, Francis was in the ashram. Yeah. So besides Donkin and I think Rano on the women's side, Francis was the only Westerner with Baba then.
Donkin, yeah.
Donkin mainly would want to stay aloof in the later years. Although he helped a lot for Baba's treatment after the accident, but usually he would keep aloof, stay at a distance. Only when Baba called him, he would come here. Otherwise, he would stay aloof.
And Baba didn't seem to disturb him in that.
No. So I think then first he was staying for some time at Khushru quarters. But that too was very noisy because of the cinema theatre and all that. So then I think for some years he stayed in the outhouse of Vilu, and then eventually shifted to Meherabad. And then he and Padri were there. And there would be sparks flying every now and then.
I can imagine.
Because Don would behave peculiar and Padri would have no end with troubles with him, So every now and then it would come to Baba's ears, and then they would be called here, and Baba would soundly berate one or the other in front of all of us. Like small children being brought back on track, as it were. So Baba had to keep on doing this right till the end of our lives. So even the old time Mandli, they needed Baba's guidance. Yeah.
All the way through. I've never had the impression that Erich would quite get lambasted and blasted very much.
In the early days, Baba used to train him also, but most of the blasting and lambasting was left to Papa.
I see. So he got his share.
Yeah. So every time when he would come back to Bindra House, Papa was ready to carry out the operations, So that part of the job, I think, was handled by Baba's instrument.
On the subject of his deserting the family.
And he's an idler, no good.
Idler, no good.
Papa would talk all sorts of things to him, unsavory. But Erich would just keep quiet, just say nothing. He well understood the big sacrifice that Papa had really done in his lifetime. Otherwise, we would never have been with Baba had he not allowed it. So
it was a great thing to give up his home, the whole life in Nagpur.
Yeah.
Just to give up like that.
So we are always beholden to both our parents for our life with Baba.
Congenital felicity, as the phrase goes.
A very high-sounding phrase. So we were on the time when Baba returned to Meherabad after his world tour. It was 1958. And I don't remember any further incidents that particular year, because now this period from 58 to 68, it's rather sort of blurred because so many things happened, so my memory is not that good regards the actual sequence, but when I recount things, they might be of 1 year and could be of another year.
Yeah.
So,
well, those years were not as marked by external, visible changes in Baba's life. Like he moved, he went.
That's right.
Or he went on.
It was just from Meherazad to Guru Prasad and back.
Right.
And all the things that happened was in between these two places.
Yeah.
So, but lot of things did happen, of course. But the sequence and the time factor is a little difficult to recollect unless we have some written records with us. So, if you come well prepared with your homework, then you might be able to prompt me in future to get my dates correct.
Letters,
yeah. So then, I think the next year, as usual, Baba sent word, because usually Baba had invented a phrase at Meherazad. When the month of March came, he would say, "In March we march to Guru Prasad." So, time for Guru Prasad, and of course, usual telegram would go to the Rani, and these formalities continued for 2 or 3 more years, and thereafter there was not even asking any permission. Any time that Baba would desire to go, Guru Prasad would be kept for Baba's disposal. As I think I mentioned previously, that Guru Prasad would be available for Rani's relations and her friends. Did I mention this previously?
Yeah.
And then there was this Dhanumrigar who wanted to...
Her brother,
And they were cross that who is this Meher Baba who has deprived us of such a good place to stay during the races and all that. But eventually she came to Baba. The name of Baba was sounded in her ears, but it took quite a few years for it to travel to her heart,
Who's this?
Dhanumrigar. Did I mention that? How she happened to come to Baba, Dhanumrigar?
No, I was thinking of no, I don't think so.
See, Dhanumrigar...
Dhanumrigar who comes here now.
Yeah, from Bombay.
Whose son was a horse racer.
Yeah, she was a friend of Rani's through her husband, because the Raja of Baroda, Gaikwad, his name was, would be fond of the races, And she was fond of races, Dhanumrigar, and her son was the ace jockey in India.
Really?
Very young, He was brilliant and he had some natural talent, and he rose to a position of eminence so that he was the prime jockey in the country, very, very early in life. So, and because of this, she had this friendship with the Rani. Oh, are we at the end?
Yeah, we're just about. Maybe I should stop here.
Okay.
So, Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.